Yeah, this is pretty difficult. I thought the origin challenge will be like challenging, but this is another level. So yeah, I'm gonna take a break. Bye.
Processing challenge. The baristas have received 5 coffee samples of the same variety and the same lot from doTERRA. The only difference is the process. All they have to do is match the coffee to the card. And we've invited an expert from doTERRA who will take us through each of the processing methods.
Hello guys, I'm Jefferson Santos and I work in marketing and communication at doTERRA Coffee in Brazil. And for this challenge, we've sent to the competitors 5 coffees from our very special process experiment where we take the same lot and we process in 12 different ways to evaluate the effect that process has on the coffee.
And don't forget, this season's winner will get to meet Jefferson and the rest of the team at doTERRA. So we asked the baristas what they'd do if they won the grand prize.
The first thing that I would do is I would shake the farmer's hand and I would say thank you.
Being able to see it firsthand and experience that environment would just be absolutely amazing.
I'm gonna eat a coffee cherry. That's something that I always wanted to do.
I might talk to the coffee cherries and say, hey, how are ya? How's the life in the farm?
So we're gonna be identifying the processes of different coffees and we're just gonna cup them blind and see if we can figure it out. As far as strategies go, I don't really have a strategy.
There's an explanation at the back.
I'm really intimidated by processing methods. I don't know that much about them. When I went to competition, I remember a bunch of people saying these words: anaerobic, aerobic, lactic. I don't know exactly what that means, and I still feel like I don't have a full understanding of it.
Coffee number 1 is our Aramosa honey, and for the honey process we use a very dedicated mucilator which removes only the cherry's skin. So we keep as much mucilage as possible still attached to the bean, and then we let them on dry on raised beds. So let's see how they do.
Alright, it's time to taste our coffee. That's bright. It's juicy as well.
Reminds me of those icy pull, that's grape flavor.
I don't want to say fruity, but I guess kind of like round, juicy.
First impression, winey dark cherry for coffee number 1.
For cup number 1, I get a lot of bright malic vibes to that. It also is very nutty. Based off the flavor descriptors, I'm gonna say that because of the malic and walnuts note, that cup number 1 is a natural aerobic.
I'll say that is pulped.
Oh, sorry, pulp process.
Serato natural.
Pulped.
And lucky baristas. As I mentioned before, the coffee was an Aramosa honey, and compared to the other coffees on the table, the honey process definitely brings out more of fruitness, sweetness, and a lot of complexity to the coffee. The next coffee is a very special one, the Aramosa Natural or Cerrado Natural. In the natural process, we let the cherries dry out while they are still attached to the tree. So we are just allowing them to go through the full maturation process while they are still attached to the branch.
Okay, yeah. Okay, number 2 could be chocolatey.
Cerrado Natural left, and it says bold and chocolatey. So maybe 2.
It's pretty mild. It's pretty chocolatey. I even got a lot of juiciness out of this one, so.
Pequeñitos cerezas.
Cerrado Natural.
Alright, I feel pretty confident. Cerrado Natural.
Well done, baristas! This one should have been nice and easy because it's the heaviest coffee on the table with a big body and really dense, with notes of fine chocolate, honey, molasses, spices, and a lot of sweetness. The coffee number 3 is our Aramosa Natural anaerobic fermentation, We've been developing this technique since 2016, and it was inspired by the winemaking techniques from Beaujolais in France. In this process, we place the cherries inside a fermentation tank equipped with a Narlock valve. This system allows all the oxygen from inside to get out of the tank, but stops anything from getting inside.
Oh wow, that is fruity, like berry.
Juicy, heavy body, strong taste.
That is so good. Oh goodness, okay.
It's just like a combination of 1 and 5. You put all the good part in together. That's what 3 makes. So natural, anaerobic.
I'll say it's natural anaerobic. Right here, it's really juicy, it's really funky.
I'm gonna go with natural anaerobic.
La Krista, Ken, and Paola, you did really well here, guys. Congratulations. This coffee presents a very distinct lactic acidity and notes of butter, vanilla, cocoa nibs, and of course the Beaujolais wine. Coffee number 4 is an Hermosa pot. This process is similar to the honey process, except that we can remove all the mucilage from the beans. And in the Terra, this process is mechanically made. That means we can remove all the mucilage from the bean without fermenting them on water. And then we send them out to dry.
Number 4 is tasting more like maybe it's the malic walnut one. Malic acid is like apples and pears, right?
Or is more like a honey process.
Nutty, like chocolatey, nutty.
I'll say is a honey process. I got that one because when I grind the coffee, I got like that florality out of the coffee.
Number 4 is a honey processed coffee, I hope.
I think it's the honey processed. It also makes sense because the beans look really nice and uniform compared to the Soreto Natural.
So understandably, a lot of the baristas got mixed up with coffee number 1. That's because they are very similar. I think this coffee differs because the honey processed coffee are more sweet and delicate, while the pumped coffees produce a more fruity, floral, and an acidic drink.
Before we reveal the final processing method, we'd like to thank this week's incredible video sponsor, Taft Coffee.
Taft is a roastery in Athens, which is always looking for the best coffee for its customers. If you choose Taft Coffee, you can rest assured that you have picked one that will make you travel with its aromas and flavors. One flower at a time, one cherry at a time, one bean at a time.
The final coffee is our Hermosa Natural aerobic fermentation. In our aerobic fermentation, we ferment the whole cherry exposed to oxygen in an open tank. Let's see if they can spot the difference.
My number 1, my number 3, and my number 5, the 3 of them are really similar in like that sort of like fermenty kind of flavor. I don't know how to describe it. It's fermenty, but in a juicy way.
5 has natural sweetness. So this is more icy pulp, grape flavor, grape Fanta, but this one is a natural grape.
Well, for my coffee number 5, just like right here, number 5, I'll say it's natural aerobic. I tried anaerobic, but I haven't tried aerobic. But this coffee from my 5 of them was really malic.
5 natural Arabic.
Whoa, Ken and Paola, guys, you really know your coffees. Congratulations. While similar to the anaerobic process, this one is more subtle and more delicate coffee with hints of strawberries and grapes on the nose, but flavors of ripe strawberries in natural red wine. Woo! This wasn't easy, I'm pretty sure. But I'm also pretty sure that you guys did your very best. We cannot wait to welcome one of you to our farm here in Brazil. Thank you very much, take care, and see you. Bye bye.
That was a tough one. Having to pick up subtle differences in coffees from the same variety and farm is a killer challenge. However, Ken and Paola were just one mixed up cup from full scores. Everyone else had to settle with 1 point this week. Hard luck, guys, but overall, well played. So we are just one more challenge away from the final episode, and I'm so excited. Just last week, Emily looked like she had extended her lead, but this week, Kim came back strong. Paula, Ken, and Emily still stand a chance to win the season. So it all comes down to the final challenge next week, which is the Mystery Box, one of our favorites from last season. So who do you think will win it all? Are you Team Ken or Team Paula? What about Team Emily? Write it down in the comments, and I'll see you next week. Bye.